Like most years, 2021 was filled with ups and downs, but as we transition to 2022, let's take a look back at some of the high points of the previous year. In this video, we're going to look at the cinematic and TV standouts and cover the 10 things that were worth watching over the course of the year. There are a large number of options to choose from, but I've compiled a list of the 10 most memorable movie and TV watching experiences of the last 12 months. The main criteria for this list are releases that are impactful and defining of the year.
This is not real. This is not real. This is not real.
The first item on the list is a recent entry, but ends the year in an illustrious fashion with a stellar cast including Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's nothing like the threat of an Earth-destroying comet to end the year with a bang. It naturally conjures up memories of previous disaster movies such as Armageddon and Deep Impact, but focuses more on the political and societal response to such a threat. The movie itself isn't as impressive as its star-studded cast, but it's exactly the movie you sign up to.
Oh, that's terrific.
Good morning, Goldie. My name is Guy, and I live in Free City.
One of the most pleasantly surprising releases of the year for me. I went into the film expecting a silly, light-hearted but forgettable slapstick comedy about a video game character, but instead we are handed a fun and entertaining action adventure from start to finish with laughs spread the whole way through. Ryan Reynolds plays the role of an NPC within a video game world when he starts to piece together the truth of his situation. This film is filled with comic book, movie and video game references and results in a thoroughly enjoyable experience. In a time where it's so easy to feel down, sometimes there's nothing better than a 2-hour pick-me-up.
Was that cool? It felt really cool.
My planet Arrakis is so beautiful when the sun is low.
Probably the sci-fi blockbuster of the year. With the reinvention of the cinematic adaptation of Frank Herbert's science fiction novel, we are thrown into a world full of political depth and awe-inspiring landscapes. Whether it stands up against the original novel is up for debate, but from a theatrical experience perspective, it's the film of the year. The jaw-dropping visuals, the intricately created environments, and a plot so dense it almost requires multiple viewings. Personally, I found it almost hard to keep up with at times, but that's more of a side effect of the subject matter, rather than an incoherent plot.
You'll still be the only thing I ever needed you to be.
This is a bit of news from the other side of the Atlantic. AFC Richmond announced the hiring of their new manager, American football coach Ted Lasso.
And we come to the first TV series entry. Technically the show's first season aired in 2020, but with its second season this year, the show proved to be a massive success and has become the flagship of Apple's original TV lineup. It combines British footballing culture with American sporting philosophy, and what follows is some of the wittiest writing and best laugh out loud characters I've witnessed in a long time. Not only that, but it is filled with moments of poignancy and emotional engagement. If the show is indicative of what Apple has in the pipeline, then Netflix better watch out. The Marvel TV series that shows us glimpses of what they have in store for us in the next phase of the MCU. We're starting to see several TV productions to complement the movies now. Loki isn't maybe as unconventional in approach as something like WandaVision, but it's arguably the most intriguing series they've done. Tom Hiddleston once again shines in his familiar role of Loki, but this time he has his own show.
Bond, any thug can kill. I have to know I can trust you.
And the Daniel Craig Bond era comes to a close with a climactic and profound movie finale. It's easy to get caught up in debates like who is the best Bond, but in many ways, it does Daniel Craig and previous portrayals injustice. Each took place in a different time with different cultural norms and expectations, so really it's unfair to compare. However, in the context of the Daniel Craig saga, this is a satisfying conclusion in my opinion. It answers all lingering questions and does the character justice. It's quite a long movie overall, but at no point during it was I bored.
The test is ready. Rachel wrote Ross a letter and demanded he read it before they got back together. How many pages was that letter?
18 pages!
18.
Maybe a slightly left field entry, but considering Friends is one of the most loved and rewatched TV shows ever made, it's only befitting that the reunion grabs a spot on this list. For all those who watched the original show and became invested in the characters and their respective stories, this entry is sure to conjure up many fond memories of the past. Filled with emotion and nostalgia, this one-off release reminds us of why the show is so special to so many people. Digging up the past can often be risky when it comes to older content, but by all accounts, this one was more than satisfying.
The world's growing smaller every day. Up there on the surface, the topsiders are leaving the Undercity further behind.
Based on the online video game phenomenon, League of Legends, it follows the adventures of several key and recognisable characters from the game. Set in the fictional futuristic cities of Piltover and Zorn from League of Legends lore, it broadcasts themes of division, conflict, discovery and power. The show features a unique but pleasing animation style and genuinely creates interesting character arcs and concepts. I was cautiously optimistic over whether the show would cater for new audiences as well as fans of the game, but thankfully the storytelling creates a pathway for everyone to enjoy. I'm confident that this show is the catalyst for many subsequent seasons and potentially TV shows in general by Riot Games.
That's right, folks. Spider-Man is in fact Peter Parker.
Listen, I did not kill Mysterio.
One of the most anticipated releases of the year, with many fans wondering what the next chapter in the MCU Spider-Man story would entail. Thankfully, Sony and Marvel delivered something that fans can truly relish. It genuinely feels like a movie made for the fans first and foremost, and I know many people who felt borderline euphoric after seeing it. In my case, the cinema on numerous occasions turned into avid celebration and delight. If you want to see more of my thoughts about this movie, I've done a whole video review on it. If you're a fan of Spider-Man and Marvel as a whole, this one is a must-watch. I don't think it will come to many people's surprise to see that the Korean thriller takes the #1 spot. You almost have to have been hiding under a rock to miss the craze that is Squid Game. It tells the story of a father who struggles with gambling addiction and personal debt. He's presented with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to erase these problems through participating in a special event. We come to learn that the event consists of a series of modified Korean childhood pastimes with deadly consequences. One of the things that makes the show both intriguing and unsettling is how compliant the company is with their set of games. It doesn't have the visual and chaotic brutality of something like Gladiators in the Colosseum, as it feels more structured and organised. But it has more of a visceral experience and leaves the viewer feeling torn and morally conflicted with the series of voluntary albeit sadistic games. There is so much to talk about with this show, how it has connotations of corporate and financial corruption, how it, despite the horror on screen, has a real moral underpinning. Like many of the best shows and movies, it leaves the audience contemplating deep and profound questions. There's a reason why it has captured the attention of so many people around the world. And that's it for 2021. I'm confident this year will bring so much for people to enjoy and look forward to. I wish everyone a happy new year, and I'll see you in the next video.